There we go. Well, good morning, everybody. Hi to our YouTube fans. And it's Michelle Alcorn here from Atlantic Canada Cooks. And you're probably going to notice that my mom and I are in a different location today. And we're really excited about it because it's Thanksgiving weekend. And what that means here in Canada is a lot of great things. And it means that we're getting together with family and friends. And you will see people across our big, beautiful country very focused on celebrating and being thankful for all the great things in the year. Mom, we were just talking about that. We've got some, obviously, lots of fresh local harvest here. And because I'm in Nova Scotia, normally Michelle, Mom, and I are in New Brunswick. But we're here today to have an amazing Thanksgiving day with our family. We're going to see some of my brother, sister, my nieces, nephews, great nieces, and great grandchildren. So we're pretty excited. And that's really what Thanksgiving is about, being thankful for the harvest, being thankful to God for all the great weather that we've had, so that we have all these amazing treats. And there's some interesting history, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Thanksgiving in Canada because it is in a different month than the United States. And a lot of people will see what those differences are. So, but we're going to get a few things cooking. So, Mom and I are actually going to be making probably one of my favorite recipes since I was a little girl. And that is a stuffing, or we call it a dressing or a stuffing. And what this is it's a combination of things we're going to come up and we're going to talk about it. And sometimes it gets stuffed inside the turkey. But today we're going to be making this dressing in a pan. And we've got our ingredients here. I'm going to pull this pan over. And we're going to get that burner turned on, Mom, if you don't mind, in the front. In this pan, we have some olive oil. And I think you can see here a stick of butter. And there's a good amount of olive oil in here. So this is what we're going to start in for our stuffing or our dressing. The main ingredients in this would be bread and some potato. So I have already prepared. So this is a really great grain bread. So it's a multi-grain bread. So, and what we've done is we dried it out a little bit. So I think, right, Mom, one of the keys of this is you want your bread to not be fresh.
Stale bread works great.
Right? So don't throw out your stale bread or feed it to the birds, because that's always a good thing here. So a little bit dried bread, and we've got it ripped up into small pieces. So you'll see here, and we've chosen a multi-grain bread. So I think it's going to add some extra fun to our stuffing because there's some seeds I can see here. I can see chia seeds. I can see some sesame seeds and some sunflower seeds. So what we have is this, and that's all here together. But the first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to get some ingredients in the frying pan. We're going to move our pumpkin out of the way because everything is about pumpkin spice too.
Yeah.
This time of year. So the other ingredients, so as that pan warms up, we're going to add some beautiful celery. And this celery, I can smell it here. So we've got big celery stalks. So I've got that diced up to a smaller size. And I'm just going to make some. See, our celery here in Canada, when we're getting it, comes in fairly big size. And then you pull each one of the stalks off to use what you need. For this dressing, I use 2 of these that are going to be here. So these are going into our dressing now. So what my mom is doing in the back right now is she's making sure that butter and olive oil are melted down. We've also diced up some beautiful onions. And I have to tell you, they're really fresh onions because I was crying when I was cutting these onions this morning. A little trick with that is to rinse your knife underneath some cold water. Good morning, Dion. And Dion, I'm in Halifax right now. How's that for fun? I'm actually in my brother's kitchen. So what we're going to do is we're going to get these onions and this celery, and we're going to get it into the frying pan. I'm going to pass these back to my mom. So you can put those in first. And there's two other seasonings. Good morning, Shinobu. See Shinobu coming in. My Aunt Greta is here in Fredericton, New Brunswick as well. We love having the world here to start our Thanksgiving celebration.
Joan there.
Yeah. Here's Joan. Yeah. So what we have here is some fresh thyme. And for those of you who watch a lot, this is one of my favorite herbs. And what I love about this is we say you can give the gift of time. You're just going to be eating that gift of time. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to take these sprigs, and we love this about thyme. And we're just going to pull all the tiny little leaves off. So I'm going to get these pulled off, and I'm going to give that to my mom. So I like to put thyme in my dressing. Some people will put sage. Sage is a wonderful herb. I love that as well. But my other favorite herb that I'm going to put in here is summer savory. And I should have thought, Mom, I am growing fresh summer savory at home, and I didn't bring any. So we're going to use some of the dried summer savory, which is really how most of us here in Canada eat our summer savory. It tends to be dried, and we've got some here. As many of you know, one of my favorite countries to travel to is Morocco, and summer savory isn't an herb that I find there often. So I've been bringing lots of it for my friends to try. And I know Jawad loves his on his eggs. So we laugh because I never used it on eggs till now. So thank you, Jawad, for showing me another way to have my summer savory. So this is the summer savory here. It's also often known in French as sarriette. And it's dried. This is not an expensive herb. So this package that will cook many meals was only $1. So it's an herb that we grow a lot of here. So it's great. But there's going to be quite a bit. I'm going to put about a quarter of a cup that's going to go into the onions and mixture that my mom is doing. Onions and celery. Michelle's already forgotten what I'm putting in.
Yeah.
I've also got some garlic powder. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put about a tablespoon of the garlic powder. So what I've done is I've made a little pile of these great spices in the corner of this pan, just to show all of you how much is going to be going in. So there's a really good amount of herbs that goes into these recipes.
Put that in.
Yeah, we're going to get that put in there right now, Mom. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to give all the amazing, right, Mom? The minute the herbs hit the pan, as we say, and they get in. And see, now it sounds like Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So, Mom, I think there's some salt and pepper beside you. My mom's going to add a little bit of fresh cracked salt and pepper into the recipe. So they're going to simmer for probably about 10 minutes. And we're going to be taking those and we're going to be adding them into our pan and mixing them together with the bread and potatoes. So what I'm going to do, excuse me, the wonderful thing about fall season here too is the amazing fall colors. My wonderful sister-in-law, here we go. She has some of these beautiful pumpkins and decorations. Her home is so beautifully decorated here, but you'll see lots of things going on with harvest. And many of you have not had the chance to travel here yet. I know one of my favorite friends, Shinobu, is in Japan right now, but Shinobu had the privilege of living here in Canada last year. And she actually spent Thanksgiving here inside of Canada. And I don't know if you remember, Shinobu, but the Scarecrow Festival is going on in Mahone Bay. And it is amazing. We are going to post some pictures later on Atlantic Canada Cooks so you can have a look at those. So what I'm going to do here now, as you can see the bowl, we've got our bread. And I'm going to add some of these. And this is just a mashed cooked potato. So we're going to add these here. Move into the bowl. So the potato gives some of the moisture. And this dressing or stuffing is gonna be. Oops. I'm just gonna get my camera angle here fixed. We're using a new camera that has some new features. There we go. So you're gonna see the ratio as this comes together. You see the potato mixing in with the bread. And I would say it's about 60% bread and about 40% potato for the ratio, which you can do it as you like.
I'll mix it.
So we made a lot before. You used to use more bread when we were growing up.
Yeah.
And we've just added some potato. And so as you're going to see the mixture, I'm going to pass this behind me to Mom. And in a few minutes, when we take all of our onions off, we're going to be adding these in. And then we're going to put it into the casserole dish. Can I give you that?
Yeah.
That looks amazing. Can you grab that? I'm just going to show everybody. Wow. This is when we want smell-o-vision. We have a new camera, but it still you can't smell it. So we're gonna have a look here. You can see all the onions. Oh, that spoon one. And everything is just beautifully cooking down. And it smells incredible. You put a good amount of this right here, Mom. Yeah. You might need a little bit more olive oil. Just because the olive oil is gonna cook down. I am gonna take some of this fried olive oil and I'm just gonna put it in the bottom of our baking dish. Exactly, because we don't want anything sticking. So while that's cooking down, I'm just gonna get the oil all around the dish. And that will be what we will put all of the bread and the potato mixture into in a few minutes.
I'm just gonna put my now.
So one of the other things, I should put on a little bit more, Mom. Yeah, please, if you don't want. I'm gonna add a little bit more olive oil. Let's bring it back. Yeah, don't put it up too high, we're gonna brown them. Just remember, our goal is to get our onions and our celery cooked down. We don't want to brown it. So we're just getting it cooked down so it's soft, because it's gonna go inside the oven and cook a little bit more, and the dressing will probably cook for about 30 minutes later this afternoon. So the other thing here in Atlantic Canada, and we produce a lot of, is cranberries. So in this bowl, we have beautiful local Nova Scotia cranberries. And it's funny thing is cranberries are light. They lick it, but they're almost a little bit hollow inside. Cranberries are also very healthy. So this is one of those great healthy foods. We produce a lot of them here in Atlantic Canada, and many of them are sold to Ocean Spray. And I see that brand all around the globe. So how cranberries are harvested is very unique. So what I have here is I've got some of these, and these are raw cranberries. Perfect. Mom, if you could just put that back. Turn the burner off, Mom, and then we'll put those in front of everybody. So Mom's gonna come over here and mix that dish. But we're gonna get the cranberries going while that's cooking down. So in this pot, we have about 3 cups of cranberries. So what I'm gonna do, and there's nothing else in the pot right now, and this is how I make a great cranberry sauce. This is orange juice, just regular orange juice, and it's very good. So what I'm going to do is I'm putting enough orange juice in to pretty much cover the cranberries. Okay, so the cranberries are now in an orange juice bath. They're going to be happy in there. And I just need a spoon. My brother's kitchen is similarly orientated than mine. So what I'm going to do here is we've got some beautiful local honey. I'm going to put about a tablespoon of honey. So I have fresh cranberries, orange juice, and honey. that's going to go into here. Perfect. And as we say with that one, I think that one's going to be what we say, finger licking good. I love honey. These are really delicious ingredients, very healthy ingredients for your family. So this is going to simmer. This is going to be for a sauce that we are making. And I need to remember how to use my brother's stove. The cranberry sauce that we're going to be making, we're going to use two ways. We're going to have some of it with our traditional turkey dinner today, which is very common for everybody to have. But we're also going to be using some of them because we're going to be making some donuts with a dipping sauce. So this looks great. We're going to go back and we're going to finish off our dressing. So you see we've got our potato and our bread. And those are perfect, Mom. And Mom has all of these. So you're going to see we're going to put this beautiful onions and celery into here. Use that pan. All right. You see, we have some more guests zooming in. It's great to see everybody. So I'm going to be getting a facial right now. It smells delicious. As you can see, it's going to, and this will mix together quite well. So I'm just going to put my bowl down here. And we just want to give this mixture. So we get all the onions and all that beautiful celery and our thyme and our summer savory well mixed together. Here we go. And as I said, many people would take this and they would stuff it inside of the turkey and bake it with the stuffing inside the turkey, which I do absolutely love. But today we're going to be doing this one in a pan. I also today chose to use gluten-free bread. And that's because not only myself, my sister-in-law, my niece, we all eat gluten-free. So we've got that one. And I want you to see, I'm just going to get my hand a little dirty here. Because this comes together and technically you could roll it and make it into balls if you wanted to. So just wanted everybody to see a little bit about the consistency.
Potatoes don't stick.
Right, exactly. Like Mom says, the potatoes help make it sticky, but we're going to put that and we're going to cook it all together. I will say, I was watching YouTube the other day and someone put this in a waffle iron.
Oh.
It made it into a waffle. I see that in my future, but not today. We're going to stick a little bit traditional. So we just grab our cloth, keep my hands clean. There we go. So we're going to get our pan that we've greased. As you can see, that bit of olive oil. And the reason why we do that is we just don't want it to stick, right? And you want to be able to get all the pieces out when you're getting it. So I also like the crispy stuff, the crispy dressing. So we're gonna get this. Mom, could you do me a favor and just take that honey out of the way, if you don't mind? Got a few extra things on my board. And I am gonna be having one of these great drinks here in a minute. I love traveling and tasting the different flavors. Oh, look at that, Mom. Perfect measurement. You think I made it once or twice before? They get that right amount. So put the bowl over here. Very traditional desserts that we would have this time of year would be some pumpkin pie and some apple pie. And because Thanksgiving is also, pardon me, often for sharing, there is somebody else bringing the apple pie later. But my brother has a beautiful pumpkin pie that I'm going to get Mom to. We'll take that out of
Turn that
Okay.
down a little bit.
We want it on a good simmer, Mom.
Yeah, it is. It's
Okay.
just a bubble.
It's just a bubble.
Just a bubble.
It already smells good.
Well, we'll start.
So there we go. Hopefully you can see all the beautiful herbs and everything that are in here. It's just such a delicious dish. Very simple. So this we will bake in the oven for probably about 35 minutes. And then we'll get some nice crispy edges, and that will be absolutely delicious. So that's going to be ready to cook later today. We're going to look forward to having that with our family to share. Absolutely. So I cannot take the credit for the pie, but we will see. It smells delicious. Wow. So this is really that traditional pumpkin pie. Sometimes some people will put some extra decorations or maybe some
Whipped cream.
whipped cream. Exactly. I had to look at Mom. She put some whipped cream on it. And again, absolutely amazing. I have a pumpkin pie recipe that we're going to make sure that we post here soon. I think the difference with mine is I cook the pumpkin in some versus just steaming it. I cooked it before. Remember, we used some tea, some flavored tea and ginger tea, and it made a nice flavor with that. That's going to be yummy.
So, Maria.
Yeah, so the cranberries are really interesting when they cook because they're going to split open and they're literally going to burst open.
Yeah.
And then all that great flavor is going to be added in. Oh, I've got a few extra. Oh, we'll leave it. Wonderful. So let's get our donut recipe ready. So many of you know, Michelle is not necessarily a baker from scratch. So I did purchase, and this is made in Canada by a company called Dainty. And I love it because this is the biggest rice company in Canada. And I know Shinobu and I were having a conversation recently about rice. And we learned that in India, there's a huge festival. We were talking about that. And they celebrate the rice harvest. So we thought that was really a fun fact for us to learn from one of our classmates at Atlantic Canada Language Academy. So this particular recipe also is gluten-free. So it has rice flour, cornstarch, potato starch, baking powder, salt, and some xanthan gum already in it. So thank you, Dainty, for getting that combination perfect for me. So what we have here is 1 cup. And if you were making this from scratch at home, from ingredients, you would add your baking powder and you would add those things. So these are already in. So what we're going to add here is we're going to add a 1/2 cup of milk. And then I am also looking for my egg. Here we go. And we've got 1 egg. And usually, double checking, you should crack your egg in a bowl first. But we did good. No shells. I just need a fork, Mom. If you don't mind passing me a fork so I can stir this up. So there we go. We're going to get these ingredients together. And this is going to be, what we're going to be doing is these could be pancakes or these could be donuts. That's the great thing about mixtures like these. They could be whatever you would like them to be. But we're going to have a little fun today and make some mini donuts with a cranberry dipping sauce. So we're keeping it really traditional using cranberries here, but we're going to use donuts. Or if the donuts don't form properly, we might be having pancakes. The point is they're still going to taste delicious. That batter looks like great batter. A nice mixture together. And I'm just making sure I have it well mixed because I did put the egg in there. So we want to make sure that we get that well mixed through. So we're going to get a frying pan on the back. We're going to put a little bit of olive oil in the pan so that we can make sure that they don't stick to the pan because we certainly don't want that. So when I was growing up, or when we were growing up as a family, my mother used to make a lot of donuts. And I remember coming home from school and Mom would have everything out and she'd just be making trays of donuts. So one of the things that we do with our donuts is on this plate is just a little bit of white sugar and I mixed it with cinnamon. So this is a cinnamon and sugar mixture. which by the way is good on everything. Sometimes I just put that on toast. But today we're gonna roll our donuts in these. And just to get a little bit of that nice sweet and cinnamon flavor. And cinnamon is also such a great flavor for the holidays. And for us here in Canada, so how's that looking, Mom?
It's basically done.
Perfect. Look at that. I'm gonna pull this one cranberry out and we're gonna laugh. Clearly I missed the stick. So there's a half-cooked cranberry. We're gonna eat that one.
I'm just gonna leave it.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Gonna be perfect. Though, Mom, I do think we need a tiny bit more honey in that. Cranberries are a little sour.
Tart.
Tart. Thank you, Mom. Tart. We love that. Tart, sour, that flavor where you can really taste the difference.
Yeah.
So, and we love local, and we know that here at Atlantic Canada Cooks. And there's so many amazing things that are produced around the globe with our local producers. And this is a company called Colliding Cows. So let's just look at the fun label that they have on the top. And I don't know, because one of our good friends, Dion, is here. There was a huge display in the Sobeys store. That's one of our shopping malls here, food store. And I was so impressed at how many products this company had. And so made here in Nova Scotia. And this is a cranberry pepper spread, which we did taste test. It is, I'm gonna get a spoon there, Mom, behind you. So when they make this, it's made into like a gel or a jelly. But this particular one actually has jalapenos and other hot peppers in it. And I don't know if you're gonna be able to see, but I want to show you the consistency of it. So it's like a jelly. And trust me, as it's pouring, I can see some of the seeds from the jalapeno peppers in it. So we thought this was going to be a great addition because it is sweet, but it's got a little heat, right? Sweet with heat. My brother loves heat.
Yeah.
Whenever I travel, I often will find the hottest hot sauce I can for him, just so that he can try it. So we love it. And so does his son, my nephew, Zach. So we'll be having this. If you want a spicy and sweet donut, you can have this. But we'll also have this with our turkey dinner tonight. So cranberries in Canada is a absolutely must-have during the holiday season. So the other thing that you'll also find is we'll use a lot of sweet potatoes here. So my brother is preparing the sweet potatoes later. So we'll wait to see what Andrew is doing with his sweet potato recipe. But I'm going to cut this one in half because last night we had a lengthy discussion about sweet potatoes and yams. And I love it because sweet potatoes is really, this is where you get a little bit more of the orangey flesh on the inside. And they have a very thin skin. So again, a very, very traditional recipe that we will be enjoying someone else cooking later. So Mom, I think our pan is, yeah, not too hot. You can probably turn that off if you would like. So we're gonna get our donuts in the pan. We're gonna work on these. We're gonna get them into a donut shape. I have a feeling they might end up a pancake, but that's okay because the recipe says donut and pancake. So we'll be able to use it for either or. I am just going to open this amazing can here. I just need a glass. We'll use this one. I don't mind having a little orange juice. No, we're gonna just give me a fresh glass, Mom, a big one. So celebrating Nova Scotia and Atlantic Canada culture again, and some of the unique things that are made here. And this is a great Nova Scotia company. We have featured that product before. See, Dion's smiling. He probably has had Bulwark ciders. This is a beautiful apple cider. Thanks, Mom. Because it is apple season too. This is our great harvest. Thanksgiving one of the biggest intentions of Thanksgiving is about celebrating the harvest and being thankful for all the great things that our farmers have spent the whole season preparing for us. So you can see it's got the beautiful carbonation in that and the bubbles. I have not had this since last year, and I call it Christmas in a can. It's unbelievable. So this is a non-alcoholic cider. They do sell some that have alcohol as well, but you can buy this at the regular store. And this one is called Winter Sparkling Cider. And I love it because it has your Thanksgiving and your Christmas flavors. So it has cinnamon, ginger, and nutmeg. Absolutely amazing. An alternative I might have done too is I could have cooked the cranberries in the cider. And that would have been, but we use the orange juice, which I think is going to be absolutely amazing. This is delicious. So I'm going to start my day with some good apples. It's fun because, you know what? It's a little bit more fun apple juice than regular apple juice, right? Apple juice with a kick, as we say. All right, Mom, I'm probably going to need your help in here. But you know what I'm having the fear of? Is this pan,
I know.
yeah, is not as hot as we like it. So, or no, it's not as flat. So you know what, Mom? I think we're going to end up doing some micro pancakes. So like any kitchen, sometimes the frying pan is not as flat as we would like it to be. And I think we just chose a pan that is not. So we're going to do these three. It's a great consistency with the dough. So we're going to have Mom kind of watch those. And I'm going to get our cranberry sauce out so we can have a look. Right? Nice and brown. Here we go. Today, we wanted to keep things really simple and authentic and really just talk about the ingredients that we are harvesting and that are ready available here. So I'm going to move my cider out of the way, and we're going to pour this beautiful cranberry sauce, and you can, hopefully you can see the chunks. I'm going to put it over here. Ooh. Smells amazing. And with the cranberry sauce, you can serve it hot or you can serve it cold. That's the best part, either way. So we're just going to hold this up so you can see the beautiful sauce. And hopefully you can see all the cranberries have, we say, popped. And now they have, when my mother was stirring it, she just sort of pushes the cranberries a bit against the side so they can pop right open. And as you'll see, look at the nice consistency and the thickness in that. And it was cranberries and orange juice. So, and that little bit of honey. And we love using honey to sweeten things versus refined sugar. Refined sugar is good for a little bit in your healthy eating, but nature has made us honey and a lot of other great natural sweeteners. And today I'm not using maple syrup. Normally I would be. I'm sure it will be, as a Canadian, it will end up in our one of our recipes this afternoon. So these are all ready, and we've got our sugar mixture ready here. And Mom is just cooking up a couple. Oh, they look perfect. And I think they're going to kind of be little donut pancakes. Wow, good job, Mom. And I did already get a plate out. It's under those bowls. That red plate. Oh, yeah. There we go. Thank you. So while we're waiting for this, I want to share a bit about an interesting piece of Thanksgiving for Canada. It was in 1957 that Canada finally decided on its Thanksgiving holiday date. We have celebrated Thanksgiving well into, it started in the late 1800s, But at one point it was in April and then it was in November. And then it wasn't until 1957 that the Canadian government formally put off for Thanksgiving as the second Monday in October. And today is Sunday. So very traditional for families because it's a long weekend, right? We'd have Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off. So many people are driving and they're going over to one family's house today. So if they're a married couple, they might have one turkey dinner on Sunday with one family. And then on Monday, they're traveling to visit another family and friends.
This,
Please.
yeah.
We call this eating season.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is here in Atlantic Canada. It's eating season. I can see Shinobu nodding and Dion laughing because it really is what it is. So other really traditional things, thanks, Mom, that you're going to find tonight that we will be having, as I said, we're going to have a roasted sweet potato dish. We're going to have some squash. So we'll be cooking up some nice squash later. We'll definitely be having traditional mashed potatoes because this is the time of year that we eat lots of mashed potatoes. And our favorite thing to put on our mashed potatoes is some gravy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know my brother is an excellent cook, so he is in charge of the turkey today. And what happens when we're making that gravy is when we finish cooking the turkey and we take it out, we've got all of the nice flavor that's going to be the drippings, yes, Mom, on the bottom of the pan. And that's what we'll make that beautiful gravy into. So these are absolutely sweet. They're like a donut pancake, right, Mom?
Yeah.
So as you see here, she's cooked them perfectly. They puffed out nice.
Yeah.
These. So what we're going to do, because they're still a little warm, so that is perfect for us. And we have our sugar and our cinnamon that we had laid out earlier. So what we're going to do, oh, perfect. Look at that. Sticking perfect, Mom. So we've got a little sugar coating. So we know we have guests inside of Canada and we have some guests that are not inside of Canada. So one thing that's very Canadian is Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons Coffee and Donut Shop. Look, I'm dropping them.
Doing that.
And they have beautiful sugar donuts. This is just a very traditional donut coating would be to coat the donuts and a little bit of sugar. But as I said, when I've traveled to other countries, I know when I was in South America, they had a very similar dessert that was like a fried dough that had some sugar or some cinnamon and different things on it. So we're going to get this together. Mom, this is going to be breakfast. I'm very excited. We've got sugar all over the plate. And then what we're going to do is we're going to top these off with some cranberry sauce. I'm having a challenge because I have sugar all over my fingers. So that's what's happening with these. All right. Switched around. That is an exciting dish. I realize now I used a red plate. So it really shows off. So there we have it. Our donut pancakes coated with some beautiful cinnamon and sugar and topped off with a cranberry sauce made from fresh Nova Scotia cranberries. So we're really excited. This is going to be delicious. And I can tell you, I'm going to do a taste test, which I don't always take the opportunity to do. Like, you can't fake that smile. Wow. Can we say this? When you're trying a new recipe and it's better than you hoped it would be, I can tell you, I wish you were here to share this with me. So, Mom, you're going to love those. I'm going to ask Mom to come back up. We're doing a little bit shorter show today because we've got a lot of our family that are on their way to come and visit. And we're going to end up having about 5 more cooks in this kitchen soon.
We have to clean up.
And then we have to clean up, right? So there, we say sometimes too many cooks in the kitchen
Spoil the broth.
can spoil the broth. But we're going to do this in phases today. And I know my brother is looking at getting in here next so he can prepare the turkey. Just remember, it's really an all day thing, right? I think that that's the other thing that's nice.
Yeah, you're busy, and well, we helped them up with a little bit, made the dressing.
Right. We've got some of the things made, but you know, we want to say we're thankful for each of you that comes in and takes the opportunity. Yeah, there you go. To join Atlantic Canada Cooks with us. And every Sunday we're going to be here looking forward to sharing more recipes. And we invite you to come and introduce your food culture with us as well. We love having guest cooks. You know, we have Christina from Vietnam that was here the other week. She's got some recipes that she was messaging me, and she's looking forward to having a future recipes. She's messaged this morning to say that she is making a Canadian Thanksgiving dinner for her two sons that are visiting from Vietnam. So it's going to be their first time of having a Canadian dinner made here. So please take the opportunity.
Traditional Canadian.
The traditional Canadian. And one other thing we said, I know my Aunt Greta was on here, sometimes we'll have ham or they have a turducken.
Yeah.
So we're going to end talking about a turducken. And that's literally where they take a turkey and the butcher will lay it out and they stuff a duck on the inside of it. So there's literally a turkey and a duck that are roasted together.
Yeah.
And
on the inside.
It is amazing. And I have had, and they usually put a stuffing in that as well.
Yeah.
I've had that recipe and it's delicious. So please share with us what you're thankful for today, what you're thankful for always. And we look forward to seeing many more of your recipes. And as we say, from our kitchen
to
yours, thank you so much for joining with us today. Sign up for our newsletter, check out our YouTube channel. And I want to say a big thank you for all the help that we get, but today being an extra thankful for the guests that show up with those smiles every week. And to Jawad, for the incredible amount of work that he does on the background. Even last night, he and Muhammad and I were testing our new camera
2 hours
and making sure that we have everything ready for you. And none of these shows happen without a lot of help. So thank you for everybody. Happy Thanksgiving to all of our team.
Yeah.
And everybody at Atlantic Canada Language Academy in Lunenburg. And it was beautiful to see some extra guests here.
Take care.
So take care, everybody.